Good afternoon, Cougar community. I hope you're all doing well. The beginning of school again is just going really well, except we do have a situation which we need to address, and that is that Cabrillo Unified Teachers Association has voted to go on strike beginning tomorrow. Okay, so this is going to be a disruption. My administration team is continuing to work on it and coming up with a schedule and how that agenda is going to look, at least for Thursday and Friday. And then we'll see where things are and then plan forward for next week. We will absolutely provide a safe environment, activities in addition to a study hall type of format, some arts, physical education, games, things like that to break up students' opportunity to work on things that they already are working on, at least for tomorrow and Friday. And again, Friday is a shortened day, so that thing makes things a little bit easier for everybody. But again, we'll provide a safe environment, an orderly environment, and a place where students are welcome. All right. So everybody, you have a great day and take care. And we'll send more messaging out later today. Okay. Thank you.
On September 11th, 2001, our world changed forever. Today, 23 years later, we remember the lives lost, the heroes who rose in the face of adversity, and the unity that followed one of the darkest days in history. In honor of this day, I want to ask 3 staff members to share their thoughts and the importance of never forgetting the events of that day. I'm here with Mr. Berrigan, and I have a couple questions for you. Can you share your experience of that day?
Yeah, I was living in San Diego, just turned 21, and I woke up to a phone call from my friend's dad. His mom was a flight attendant for American Airlines, and he just said that she's okay to let him know. And I had no idea what he meant by that. But then I went to a restaurant that I was going to train at, and I saw replays of the planes hitting the towers on TV. At that point, I realized something was going on. My dad then called me, and he grew up in New York. And at that time, as I was talking to my dad on the phone, we saw the towers collapse.
And how did that day change you personally? And what message do you have for today's generation?
I think more than anything, it just made me realize how fragile everything can be. I remember as a kid standing on those towers, so for me it really did feel like I've been there, I've experienced that, and to see something so big and powerful get taken down just puts things into perspective. That's why I think I try to keep a positive attitude and make the best of every situation. And for everybody out there, just you never know what's going on. Just try to stay positive and make the most of every moment that you have.
We're now here with Dr. Yerby. Dr. Yerby, what do you remember most about that day, and how has it shaped your perspective on life?
So on that day, I was the mom of a 2-year-old, and I was pregnant with my second child. And I was driving to work and heard the towers and the explosions on the radio. And I got to work, and my entire company was in the conference room watching those towers fall. And my CFO, Chief Financial Officer of the company, was crying. And he lost many friends in that tower. My uncle was supposed to be at work in the tower that day, and so it reminded me as the mom of little ones that you don't know what's going to happen, and you can't take things for granted. You can't take democracy for granted because you never know what's going to happen with politics. You can't take your friendships for granted, and you need to live every day like it could be your last.
One more question here for you, Dr. Yerby. What message would you like to pass on to those who weren't alive during 9/11?
I think it's hard for people who weren't alive in 9/11 to understand the impact of that day. It's a very somber day. It's not a day to celebrate. It's a day to reflect and to understand that things are tenuous, that what you see around you, just be grateful for it.
And we're now here with Mr. Carey. What does 9/11 mean to you?
Well, 9/11 is a memory of something that is a reminder, like, you think you live a peaceful life, and then all it takes is some actions of some people with evil intent, and they can shake up the entire world. And we went from a very calm morning to very tumultuous morning. And it also reminds me, as a teacher, one of the lessons to put forth to the students is that you need to be informed. On that day, the first thing I did when I got to school was I put on a news channel so the students could be informed, so they weren't reacting to rumors and weren't reacting to misinformation. It's really important to stay informed on what's going on in your community and what's going on in the world.
And I feel like you kind of answered this, but why do you think it's important for everyone to remember this event?
Well, it's just a reminder of how, things can change so quickly. Just 3 weeks before that, I was in New York City. I was on a tour bus looking at the towers, and then they were gone. And those are, when you think about it, it's like, yeah, okay, people die, but you don't really get a chance to reflect on the time that, thousands of people die in a single event. And that's an incredible tragedy, and that's something that we need to remember and never forget.
As we reflect on 9/11, we honor the lives lost, the heroes who emerged, and the spirit of resilience that lives on today. Let us continue to remember, to learn, and to stand united in the face of adversity. Together we ensure that the legacy of 9/11 will never be forgotten. Thank you.